What's up, YouTube? PokePrimer here, proud and ready to deliver you our Week 9 Team Builder here in NPBF. This week, we are taking on Sionie and his Pyro Striking Cinderaces. And that is probably one of the coolest names I've ever heard of in the history of Pokemon, so that's pretty hype. He also has a really cool logo, so that's fun too. But with that being said, this is going to be a really tough matchup, and one that we pretty much have to win. We're pretty much in like a must-win situation every week if we want even a remote chance at playoffs. Our division is incredibly close. Our leader, the leader of our division right now is 5-3. We are 3-5. So it's not a crazy gap to make up in 4 weeks. Potentially, I'm gonna need to do incredibly well in the divisional rematches as well to potentially just have a chance in a wildcard slot just in case. So I basically have to be completely on top of my game, 1,000% for the remainder of the season. And if I lose another game, I'm pretty sure I'm mathematically eliminated from playoffs. I'm pretty sure there's no chance. So the goal will then be to avoid getting knocked down to D-League. That's pretty much the goal. At that point, I do not... because the people in D-League are getting really good, and I might not make it back to main anytime soon. So, yeah. I don't want to have to go through with that. Plus, I'm going to be the head guy, and I feel like that getting knocked down to D-League kind of puts a slight damper on my resume. Not really. No, D-League deserves all the respect I can give it. It went from just being an extra thing that we tacked on because we had just a little bit too many people, and we needed more people around the league and whatnot. It just started as an extra thing, and then has kind of blossomed into like its own full-on, highly competitive, like revolving door of talent and good coaches. So it's entirely something that is well worth the time and energy to mess with. I love the D-League. They've produced some of our cooler guys as well. So love the D-League. Good stuff. But his team consists of Zeraora, the Grimmsnarl, Chandelure, Lycanroc Dusk, Quagsire, Vileplume, Unpheasant, Celesteela, Komodo, Mr. Rhyme, and Glaceon. So decently scary team. A lot of interesting stuff on this one. All really strong offensive mons with some good support for each other, which I think is really scary. But hopefully the team that I've built will be able to deal with it. First things first, we have our Death Drop, the Drapion, with Assault Vest Battle Armor ability. Max attack, 120 HP, 136 speed with Jolly Nature. And then we have Knockoff, Poison Jab, Earthquake, and Fire Fang. Basically, this kind of hits everything on his team as hard as I can hit it. Knock is always important. I will never not bring Knockoff if I can afford to fit it on the moveset. Poison Jab is good for like the Grimmsnarl because that thing could be very problematic. I could potentially get poison on it, which would be really important. Earthquake allows us to smack the Zeraora and the Lycanroc. The Fire Fang is there for the Glaceon, I guess, and the Vileplume. And the Celesteela, so we have something I can hit it with. Potentially get the burn on it, too, which could be nice. And yeah, that's Drapion. It's nothing too spectacular. It's pretty straightforward set. It has a lot of potential. Just to kind of be a nuisance to his team. Smack him up a little bit. Yeah, that's our Drapion. Next up, we have Budweiser, the Mudsdale here, and with the Rindoberry, max special defense, max HP, careful nature, 4 into speed. We have Stealth Rock, Earthquake, Body Press, Rest. This thing, basically, it's designed to beat Zeraora. As long as he doesn't Grass Knot me on the switch in, we can come in on that thing, even if he knocks us off. Knock-off into Grass Knot still doesn't kill us. So that's nice. And then we can KO him with Earthquake. We have potential chance to set up Stealth Rocks. That'd be great. Body Press then kind of smacks the majority of the rest of his team pretty hard. He doesn't appreciate Earthquakes much. Body Press smacks a lot of his team really, really hard. Obviously, it's not the best matchup for this thing because he does have things like the Mr. Rime and the Glaceon that hit us really, really hard, and the Vileplume, which is problematic. But overall, I think Budweiser can do the job that it needs to do in this one. I think that's kind of what we're going for here. So hopefully we'll be able to do just that. Pretty straightforward. We also have rest so we can keep ourselves alive and preserve our preserve our stamina boosts. So that's going to be very important, I'm sure, in this matchup. Next up we have Le Champion, the shiny male Oribombi, with the Expert Belt Shield Dust ability. Of course, Quiver Dance, Moonblast, Energy Ball, and Psychic. This thing has the potential to just win against this team. So we went 120 speed. We could have outsped technically the Lycanroc, but I didn't feel like that mattered. And the reason I don't feel like that matters is because even if we outsped it, he can just click Excel Rock and OHKO us anyway. So there's literally no point in investing to the point of outspeeding that thing because he literally has an out to click every time, so that no matter how much speed we invested, he'll always be able to beat us out. So not worried about that. So this speed covers Unpheasant and below, which is literally his entire team, bar Zeraora and Lycanroc. So Moonblast, Energy Ball, Psychic hits pretty much his entire team really hard. We get a Quiver Dance up, we're going to really rock his team. Moonblast smacks the Grimmsnarl and Komodo, especially Komodo. The Energy Ball is for the Quagsire, and the Psychic is for the Vileplume. And then those two moves kind of hit everything else. The only thing that we don't really touch is Celesteela. We have switch-ins to Celesteela, though, so I'm not super stressed about that Mon. I'm always lightly stressed about Celesteela, but I'm not super stressed about it this time. So if we can get rid of Celesteela, this thing can just kind of sweep his team, which is kind of the goal. So hope we'll be able to do that. But moving on, we have Big Leak Energy, the Surfetched. And he does indeed have that Big Leak. Life Orb, Scrappy, Close Combat, Leaf Blade, Brave Bird, and First Impression. Max Attack, Max Speed, Jolly Nature. We went Max Speed Jolly because this allows us to speed tie with Glaceon. It also allows us to outspeed a Max Speed Grimmsnarl. Speed time with Glaceon, interesting case, could be important. We outspeed also like max speed Celesteela and stuff like that. I apologize for that real quick. With the Scrappy ability, we can just click Close Combat. The switch-ins he has for Close Combat include they include the Vileplume, I guess. They include the Vileplume. That's it. Everything else is taking a fucking beating from Close Combat. Everything else is getting fucking nuked by Close Combat. It's pretty gross. It's pretty gross how strong this Pokemon is. I love Surfetch so much. It's so fun. I love being able to just click a button and have things just disappear. But even if he does switch in the Vileplume, we have Brave Bird, which absolutely annihilates it after a Close Combat. So, not worried about that. We have the First Impression. First Impression fulfills a few different roles here. One, obviously, allows us to beat out the Mr. Rime on our switch-in. Also gives us something that can smack the Zeraora before it can smack us. Which is also great. Anything that we can use to hit some of his faster mons before they can hit us is really important. But this thing's basically its goal. It is indeed faster than about half of his team. The goal is to come in on the things that were faster than, click Close Combat, and watch something die. That's the point. Like, this thing's gonna probably be saved a little bit for until the mid game kind of area, and where this thing is just going to come in mid-game and break his team. Because he genuinely has nothing that comes in on this. genuinely has no switch-ins to this mon, which is so good. I love being able to just kill things with Surf Edge. So hopefully that will be the case. Next up we have Spiky Burb, the Zapdos. Discharge, Hurricane, Toxic, and Roost. I do have to quicken the pace of this one a little bit up. Obviously Discharge is important because I want to be able to get paras and stuff. Hurricane, because I can get good damage off, and I can potentially get the confusions as well. This thing doesn't touch Zero Aura, which is fine. We Toxic that thing on its switch in every time, or if it tries to bulk up in front of us, we Toxic it. Whatever. Roost, just for longevity. We have the Toxic, or the Static on us, because I want to make sure that we can switch in on things like Celesteela pretty easily. Potentially get Statics on that thing as well. There's a couple of mons we potentially get Static on, so I'm looking forward to that. We have the Boots just in case, for the case of like the rocks that can be set up by Lichen Rock or Komodo or whatever. We can have the Boots for that. No extra damage from there. And we have enough speed to outpace Komodo. So if Komodo is in against us, we can potentially Hurricane it and blow it away, which is pretty sick. So that's our Zapdos, which it's built in the best possible way so it can switch into the most things on my opponent's team and get the most out of it. That's pretty much the goal. Last but not least, we have Derp the Slowbro with the Wakon Berry. Wakon? Max HP, max defense, bold nature, Psychic, Scald, Slack Off, and Toxic. The regenerator ability, of course. Dual Stab against this team hits pretty much everything. There's nothing on this team that resists both of those, so that's really nice. Gets good damage off on a lot of things. Toxic is going to be important to whittle down things like the Quagsire, whittle down things like the Grimmsnarl, if I can snag one, stuff like that. Having the Toxic plus the Wakon allows me to get a Toxic off onto the Zero Aura guaranteed, no matter what, which is nice. And Slack Off is, of course, just so I can potentially, if I get a Toxic on something, I can just stall it out. He does have access to Clerics with the Glaceon and the Vileplume, but we'll just have to be a little bit careful with those now, won't we? But overall, I think Slowbro has a lot of potential to do well in this matchup, so that's going to be it for this one, though. Unfortunately, I do have to speed out of here so I can go to work. But thank you guys for watching. If you guys have enjoyed, make sure to leave a like down below. Subscribe if you haven't already. The battle goes up tomorrow. It'll be live commed as per usual. Thank you guys for watching. Until next time, I'm PokePrimer, signing off. Peace.